On our website, you can get PDF learning materials for free. Please visit englist.me.
Crew.
A group of people who work together, especially on a ship or airplane.
Examples:
The film crew. The crew of a fishing boat. The ship's crew worked hard to repair the damaged sails before the next storm hit.
Astronaut.
A person trained by a space agency to travel outside the Earth's atmosphere.
Examples:
Astronaut mission. Astronaut in training. The shuttle astronaut trained for months before embarking on the space mission.
Mar.
To damage or spoil the appearance or surface of something.
Examples:
Mar a proper relationship. Mar the reputation. The scratches on the car marred its otherwise perfect appearance.
Distant.
Far away in space, time, or where you are, far apart in relevance, relationship, or kinship.
Examples:
A distant memory. Distant ancestors. The sun set over the crest of distant hills.
Planet.
Any of the 9 large celestial bodies that circle in the solar system, any celestial body that revolves around a star.
Examples:
Planet like the Earth. Save the planet. Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun.
Minimal.
Tiny in amount, the least possible.
Examples:
Minimal effort. Minimal amount. The process was carried out at minimal cost.
Packet.
A small container or envelope that holds one or more items typically used for storing or transporting items like food, medicine, or marketing materials.
Examples:
Packet delivery. Packet data network. I need to buy a packet of biscuits from the store.
Crop.
A plant that is cultivated in large amounts, particularly for food.
Examples:
Crop field. Crop herbicide. Sow early for an early crop.
Duration.
The length of time something lasts or continues.
Examples:
The duration of insurance. Short duration. The military incarcerated him for the duration of the war.
Involve.
To include or affect someone or something as a necessary part of something else.
Examples:
Involve a lot of paperwork. Involve a high degree of risk. The investigation involves several government agencies and is expected to take several months.
Microorganism.
A very small living thing that may exist in its single-celled form or as a colony of cells and is too small to be seen without a microscope.
Examples:
Pathogenic microorganism. Microorganisms in his gut. This microorganism is a producer of respiratory disease.
Hydrogen.
The chemical element that is the lightest gas is colorless, odorless, tasteless, and combines with oxygen to form water.
Examples:
Hydrogen gas. Heavy hydrogen. The hydrogen and the oxygen react and then form water.
Microbe.
A tiny living thing that can only be seen with a microscope and that may cause disease.
Examples:
Pathogenic microbe. Microbe sterilizer. Microbes thrive on the surface of the human skin.
Virtue.
High moral standards in behavior or attitudes.
Examples:
Virtue of frugality. Acquire a virtue. She had many good virtues and few faults.
Carbon.
A chemical element that can be found in pure form as diamond or graphite, and it is also an essential part of coal and oil and is found in all plants and animals.
Examples:
Carbon dioxide. Carbon emission. Trees absorb carbon dioxide and give off oxygen.
Sustain.
To supply enough of what somebody or something needs in order to survive or exist, to accept as valid.
Examples:
Sustain a good relationship with him. Sustain a wellness lifestyle. She struggled to sustain the children's reading habits.
On-board.
To become or make part of a team, group, or system. To install, activate, or begin using a piece of equipment or software. Adjective, included or integrated into a particular system, machine, or device.
Examples:
Onboard the new employees. Onboard computer. The passengers were instructed to onboard the aircraft as quickly as possible so that the flight could depart on time.
Spacecraft.
A vehicle designed to travel through space, typically carrying astronauts or scientific instruments.
Examples:
Spacecraft launch. Alien spacecraft. The human-crewed spacecraft successfully landed on the moon, fulfilling its mission.
Oxide.
A chemical compound that contains at least one oxygen atom and one other element.
Examples:
Silver oxide. Combined oxide. The blood's red coloring comes from iron oxide.
Capture.
To catch a person or an animal and confine them in an area which they cannot escape.
Examples:
Capture a glimpse. Capture customers' hearts. I was able to capture the moment on film.
Convert.
To turn something into a different form, to transform.
Examples:
Convert fat into energy. Convert base 10 to base 16. I want to convert my sadness into strength.
Exhale.
To breathe out air or vapor from the lungs or mouth, to release or emit something slowly or gently.
Examples:
Exhale a big sigh. Exhale cigarette smoke. He took a deep breath and slowly began to exhale.
Loop.
A shape like a curve or a circle made by something long and thin, such as a piece of string, that bends round and crosses itself.
Examples:
Exit from a loop. Positive feedback loop. Many people in this city use the loop railway for transportation.
Survive.
To live or exist despite a dangerous event or period.
Examples:
Survive a blizzard. Survive a plane crash. These birds can only survive in temperate climates.
Recycle.
To sort and collect things to process them and produce valuable materials that can be used again.
Examples:
Recycle the cardboard boxes. Recycle milk packaging into new paper. We largely recycle the circuit board of cell phones because they contain a lot of valuable metals.
Colleague.
One of a group of a coworker, especially in a profession or a business.
Examples:
Collaborate with colleagues. Former colleague. I decided to seek counseling on the advice of my colleague.
Reed.
A tall, slender-leaved plant that grows in water, a thin strip of wood or metal that vibrates to produce sound in certain musical instruments such as oboe, clarinet, and saxophone.
Examples:
Reed instrument. A young bud of reed. The reed in the wind instrument needs to be replaced.
Climate.
The weather in a particular location averaged over some long period.
Examples:
A cold climate. Effects of climate change. Climate and weather have an impact on every part of our lifestyles.
Discovery.
The act or process of finding information, a place, or an object, or learning about something that was previously not known.
Examples:
A scientific discovery. The great discovery of the century. Her research team made an important discovery.
Spaceship.
Especially in science fiction, a spacecraft designed to carry a crew into interstellar space.
Examples:
A spaceship to survey the moon. Alien spaceship. They launched a crewless spaceship into space.
Cultivate.
To prepare and foster land for growing crops or plants.
Examples:
Cultivate a field. Cultivate relationships. University is a great place to cultivate our minds and expertise.
Supercharge.
To increase the power or energy of something.
Examples:
Supercharge economic growth. Supercharge the battery. They supercharged the engine to get more power.
Largely.
Virtually entirely, to a large degree.
Examples:
Largely accepted. Largely mitigate the issue. Nevada is largely a desert state.
Overlook.
To fail to notice something, to watch over someone, to provide a view from above.
Examples:
Overlook a street. Overlook that fact. We cannot overlook an opportunity for great success.
Cult.
A small religious group, especially one that is not part of a larger religion and that is regarded as outside the norm, followers of an exclusive system of beliefs and practices.
Examples:
Cult members. Cult's practices. The cult leader promised his followers that they would achieve enlightenment if they followed his teachings.
Lab.
A workplace for the conduct of scientific research, a laboratory.
Examples:
Lab instrument. Medical lab. The Prime Minister will pay a courtesy visit to the Nobel laureate's lab.
Essential.
Indispensable, fundamental.
Examples:
Essential amino acid. Essential commodities of life. Trial and error is an essential part of education.
Amino.
Compounds and functional groups that contain a basic nitrogen atom with a lone pair, NH2, that combine to make protein.
Examples:
Amino compound. Amino acid. This company was granted a patent for its amino resin manufacturing process.
Acid.
Sour, water-soluble chemicals with a sour flavor, any of a variety of generally liquid compounds capable of reacting with and occasionally dissolving other materials.
Examples:
An acid reaction. Good source of essential amino acids. During pregnancy, the stomach generates less acid than usual.
Protein.
A molecule made up of a long chain of amino acids, which is essential for the structure and function of the body's tissues.
Examples:
Stress protein. Protein synthesis. The body needs a certain amount of protein to build and repair tissues.
Manufacture.
To make goods in large numbers, usually in a factory using machines.
Examples:
Manufacture an enzyme. Manufacture a product. The majority of synthetic vitamins are manufactured from oil.
Citrus.
A group of fruits that belong to the citrus family, including oranges, lemons, limes, and grapefruits, the trees that bear these fruits.
Examples:
Citrus trees. Citrus scent. Citrus fruits like oranges and lemons are high in vitamin C.
Flavoring.
A substance or combination of substances used to add taste or aroma to food or drink. A controlled substance used to mask the taste or odor of another substance.
Examples:
Beverage flavoring. Natural flavoring. The recipe calls for adding a dash of vanilla flavoring to the batter.
Fragrance.
A pleasant or sweet smell, especially one that is natural to a particular substance.
Examples:
Fragrance oil. Lavender fragrance. The fragrance of the roses filled the air and brought a smile to my face.
Biodegrade.
To decay naturally by microorganisms, such as bacteria and fungi.
Examples:
Biodegrade by the microorganism. Bioplastic designed to biodegrade. The company's plastic products are easily biodegrade thanks to a unique manufacturing process.
Jet.
A type of aircraft that is powered by one or more jet engines and can fly at high speeds, typically over long distances.
Examples:
Private jet. Commercial jet. The jet flew over the ocean at high speed, reaching its destination in hours.
Fuel.
A substance that is typically burned to generate heat or energy.
Examples:
Biomass fuel. Smokeless fuel. The manufacturing sector was most severely impacted by the fuel scarcity.
Palm.
The inner surface of the hand from the wrist to the base of the fingers, any plant of the family Palmae having an unbranched trunk crowned by large pinnate or palmate leaves.
Examples:
The palm side of the forearm. Coconut palm trees. This high-performance camera is compact enough to fit in the palm of your hand.
Consume.
To spend something, especially fuel, energy, or time, in a large amount.
Examples:
Consume a large of alcohol. Consume electricity. A smaller car will consume less fuel.
Industrial.
Of or relating to or resulting from industry.
Examples:
Beginning of the Industrial Revolution. Industrial alcohol. Industrial design has become more focused on human nature aspect than ever before.
Profitable.
Making or likely to make material gain or profit.
Examples:
A profitable job. Profitable trade. The Prohibition Amendment made bootlegging profitable.
Beneficial.
Helpful, useful, or sound, promoting or enhancing well-being.
Examples:
A beneficial result. Beneficial to all countries. Laughing is beneficial to our health.
Agriculture.
The practice or science of cultivating the land or raising stock.
Examples:
Organic agriculture. Intensive agriculture. Agriculture is the foundation of our economy.
Sustainable.
Able to continue or be continued for a long time.
Examples:
Sustainable alternative fuel. Principles of sustainable development. The government should do more to support environmentally sustainable agriculture.
Estimate.
To guess or calculate the cost, the size, value, etc. of something.
Examples:
Estimate of fair value. Estimate this chicken to weigh 3 pounds. We estimated the season's total trade deficit at $50 billion.
Addition.
The act or process of adding something to something else, the process of adding numbers.
Examples:
Chemical addition. Addition of vectors. In addition, private corporations provide healthcare services.
Modern.
Of or belonging to the present time or recent times.
Examples:
Modern poetry. Pre-modern agricultural society. Their headquarters are in a modern skyscraper.
Emit.
To give off or send out something such as light, heat, sound, gas, etc.
Examples:
Emit a gamma ray. Emit air pollution. During the unloading, the container box emits a clicking sound.
Greenhouse.
A building with walls and roof made chiefly of transparent material, such as glass, for growing plants in.
Examples:
Exotic plants in a greenhouse. Emissions of greenhouse gases. The greenhouse effect is a phenomenon that happens naturally.
Combine.
To join or merge to form a single thing or group.
Examples:
Combine chemically with another substance. Combine augmented reality. Hydrogen and oxygen combine to form water.
Livestock.
Farm animals and birds such as cows, sheep, and chickens.
Examples:
livestock agriculture, livestock industry. Livestock feed is made from fodder crops.
Roughly.
Approximately, but not precisely, with a violent manner.
Examples:
roughly explain my idea. Roughly speaking. 5 miles is roughly similar to 8 kilometers.
Specific.
Clearly defined or particular to a certain thing or situation, distinct, explicit, and precise.
Examples:
specific instructions, industry-specific regulations. The scientist conducted a study that provided specific details about the species' behavior.
Virgin.
A person who has never had sex, adjective, being used or worked for the first time.
Examples:
virgin material, enter virgin territory. Within a few years, no virgin forests will remain.
Rainforest.
A forest rich in biodiversity that is generally found in tropical settings with heavy annual rainfall.
Examples:
rainforest destruction, tropical rainforest. The destruction of the rainforest is a ticking time bomb for the earth.
Approximately.
Close to a specific number or time, but not exactly that number or time.
Examples:
approximately 3 feet long. Approximately same. This trail takes approximately 2.5 hours.
Diversity.
The quality or fact of many different types of things or people being included in something, a range of different things or people.
Examples:
the diversity policy of the university. Lingual diversity. He was impressed by the range and diversity of the collection.
Process.
A series of actions or operations performed to achieve a particular outcome or goal. A systematic procedure or approach used to accomplish a specific task or objective. A method of treating milk to make it suitable for consumption or use in other dairy products.
Examples:
process improvement. Decision-making process. The process for applying for a visa can be lengthy and complicated.
Insect.
Any small creature that has 6 legs and a body divided into 3 sections.
Examples:
insect antenna. Insect biology. These insects are more prevalent above a certain latitude.
Sink.
To submerge or go down below the surface of a liquid or substance, to decline or deteriorate, to cause something to go down into a liquid substance or sink into something else.
Examples:
sink a lot of capital. Sink a buzzer beater. The abandoned ship slowly began to sink into the murky waters of the harbor.
Primarily.
Mainly.
Examples:
Intended primarily for young people. Primarily affect adults. All peaceful cooperation is based primarily on mutual trust.
Mention.
To speak or write about something or someone briefly.
Examples:
Mention name. Mention in a report. I mentioned to him that I had seen his sister at the grocery store earlier that day.
Detergent.
A substance used for washing or cleaning, especially one that can remove dirt or stains effectively.
Examples:
Detergent solution. Laundry detergent. I use environmentally friendly detergent when I wash my clothes and dishes.
Numerous.
Amounting to a large indefinite number.
Examples:
Numerous countries. As numerous as the sand. These descriptions are based on a number of numerous assumptions.
Beneficiary.
A person or entity designated to receive benefits or advantages, especially under a will or insurance policy.
Examples:
A joint beneficiary. Beneficiary trust. The beneficiary of the will inherits the late grandfather's house.
Specifically.
Only associated with or meant for one thing.
Examples:
Designed specifically for men. For specifically American customers. This ad campaign is aimed specifically at young women.
Ecosystem.
All the plants and living creatures in an area and the way they affect each other and the environment.
Examples:
Marine ecosystem. Change the ecosystem. Human conservation efforts often fail unexpectedly because they disturb the balance of the ecosystem.
Thrive.
To grow vigorously, to make steady progress.
Examples:
Thrive in a society. Thrive on pressure. Without investment, a business cannot thrive.
Exotic.
Originating from or characteristic of a foreign country or culture, strikingly unusual, uncommon, or intriguing.
Examples:
Exotic species. Exotic vacation. I love trying exotic foods from different cultures.
Hydrothermal.
Relating to hot water or steam, especially in the Earth's crust, and the thermal energy and chemical reactions that occur as a result.
Examples:
Hydrothermal vents. Hydrothermal chemistry. The hydrothermal activity in this area creates a unique environment for marine creatures.
Vent.
A small opening to escape or release gas, air, liquid, etc., activity or process that frees or expresses strong creative energy or emotion.
Examples:
Volcanic vent. Vent tube. He gave vent to his anger by playing the guitar.
Nutrient.
Any substance that is essential for the maintenance and growth of living things.
Examples:
Nutrient medicine. A nutrient for hair. They used fast-acting nutrients on the flowers in the flower beds.
Carbohydrate.
Also carb, any of a class of organic compounds that include sugars, starch, and cellulose and are a principal source of energy in the diet of animals.
Examples:
Complex carbohydrate. Carbohydrate metabolism. Foods high in carbohydrates include bread, pasta, and rice.
Integral.
Necessary to make a whole complete, essential, or fundamental, combining with something else to form a whole. Noun, of mathematics, a fundamental concept in calculus that represents the area under a curve between 2 points on a graph.
Examples:
Integral function. Integral component. Effective communication is an integral part of any successful team.
Noir.
A type of film or literature that emphasizes crime, darkness, and moral ambiguity, often using shadowy, low-light cinematography or atmospheric prose, meaning black or dark in French.
Examples:
Noir crime novel. Noir atmosphere. The film noir genre is known for its dark and brooding atmosphere.
Brew.
To make beer or tea by mixing a substance with hot water.
Examples:
Brew a cup of tea. Brew beer. I am going to brew some coffee this morning.
Associate.
To mentally connect someone or something with someone or something else.
Examples:
Associate alcohol with gambling. Associate with people widely. The majority of consumers associate this brand with quality.
Geography.
A field of science devoted to the study of the lands, features, inhabitants, and phenomena of the earth.
Examples:
Geography class. Economic geography. She did well on her geography exam.
Locate.
To specify or determine the exact position of someone or something.
Examples:
Locate a missing pet. Locate a tumor. The robot can accurately locate construction material.
Vertical.
Upright or perpendicular to a horizontal surface or line.
Examples:
Vertical takeoff. Vertical axis. The ladder leaned against the vertical surface of the building.
Tradition.
A belief, custom, or way of doing something that has been passed down from generation to generation within a group or society.
Examples:
A tradition of a culture. Against tradition. It is a tradition in many families to have a big Thanksgiving dinner with all their relatives.
Horizontal.
Parallel to the ground or in a baseline, being at the same level as all members of a group.
Examples:
Horizontal lines. Horizontal stripes. Airplanes need horizontal tails to improve stability.
Implement.
To put a decision, plan, or system into effect.
Examples:
Implement a corporate strategy. Implement security measures. The government promised to implement a new system to control the financial crisis.
Instance.
A particular example or single occurrence of something.
Examples:
For instance. Notable instance. These articles cite 5 instances of climate change.
Soybean.
A legume crop widely cultivated for its nutritious seeds, often ground into meal or pressed into oil for food products, with other uses including animal feed, fuel, and industrial applications.
Examples:
Soybean oil. Soybean production. The farmer harvested his soybean crop and took it to market.
Develop.
To grow or expand, to improve or refine through a process of progress and refinement, often to achieve greater sophistication or complexity, to elaborate or add detail to something that is in the process of being created.
Examples:
Develop a strategy. Develop a skill. We must develop a new system to streamline our workflow and increase efficiency.
Wheat.
A cereal plant that is the most important kind grown in temperate countries, the grain of which is ground to make flour for bread, pasta, pastry, etc.
Examples:
Harvesting wheat. Wheat crop. The farmer grew wheat on his land.
Coconut.
The large, hard-shelled seed of a tropical palm, which has a fibrous husk surrounding a single-seeded nut.
Examples:
Coconut milk. Coconut oil. He cracked open a coconut to drink the milk.
Nutritional.
Of or relating to the substance required by the body to maintain health and growth.
Examples:
Nutritional supplement. Bit of nutritional yeast. The nutritional value of the food should be clearly labeled on the packaging.
Quo.
The existing state or condition of something, especially in relation to a particular situation or issue.
Examples:
Status quo politician. Quo warranto. The company has been successful in maintaining the status quo.
Progeny.
The descendants or offspring of a person, animal, or plant.
Examples:
Progeny viral DNA. Progeny of plants. The royal family has much progeny scattered across the globe.
Abundance.
A significant amount of something, the situation in which there is too much of something.
Examples:
An age of abundance. An abundance of examples. A healthy farm provides an abundance of food.